Where there's a map, there's a border. And it's true that often delineating borders are the very reason that some maps are created in the first place. And they just fascinate us, don't they? When I was writing my book Map Addict, there's a chapter in there all about borders. And to research that, I took a 6-week train trip, an interrail trip around Europe to visit some of its quirkier border corners. And one that stands out in my memory now is the town of Bala. Now, Bala is 5 kilometres into Holland from the Belgian border. But within the town, there are 21 exclaves of Belgium. And within those are 9 further counter-exclaves of Holland. So you have bits of the Netherlands, Holland, within bits of Belgium, within the Netherlands, which does all make for a very complicated sort of place. But it's fascinating, and it draws the crowds in like nobody's business. But the UK also has a stack of crazy and interesting borders as well. And for the past 4 or 5 years, I've been researching my recently published book, All the Wide Border, which is about one of them. And that's one of the oldest and the deepest on this island, namely the line between Wales and England. So it was an investigation of the border as a line on the map, as a line through history, but also as a line that goes through me and so many others, and a line through the concept of Britishness. There's so many quirky angles to the Welsh English border. And of course, in the pandemic, when it really roared into life because of the different rules on either side, we saw things like the golf course in Llanymynech, where suddenly, one half could play golf and the other half couldn't because the border goes down the middle of the golf course. Same thing in Chester Football Club, where the entrance and the bar are in England, but the pitch and the stand are in Wales, and that caused a few problems. Basically, the England-Wales border, as we know it today, the line on the map, was drawn up for the Act of Union of 1536, although based on much earlier assumptions of where the line was, of course, including Offa's Dyke from the 8th century. But the 1536 drawing of the map meant that, of course, there were some places that landed on the wrong side. So there were bits of Wales stranded in England and bits of England stranded in Wales. And you can still feel that even today, 500 years on. But the place I want to leave you with is a place which fell between the cracks. It was on neither one side nor the other. It's a place called Threatwood, a corruption of the words thieves' wood, which gives you an indication of its reputation. It was extra-parochial, so completely out of the church jurisdiction. But being in neither Flintshire nor Cheshire, it also fell through the legal system so that no one could be tried there. And most importantly, as far as the politicians were concerned, nobody there was paying any taxes. So hardly surprisingly, it attracted all kinds of ne'er-do-wells. People who were attracted to it because of its very lawlessness. And amongst the gypsies and the military deserters and the bull baiters and cockfighters and gamblers and drinkers was one constituency of people that made Threatwood quite famous. And that was young, unmarried, pregnant women who were often kicked out of their more upstanding parishes, probably by the very blokes that got them pregnant in the first place. And they made their way to Threatwood, where there were houses situated across the common for their reception. This is an amazing story, I think, one that I'd never heard of before, that there was this kind of place of refuge there between England and Wales and what's now in Cheshire. And isn't that incredible? For the place of enforced and shameful exile actually became a place of rare and welcome sanctuary. That's the power of borders.